So I've had my certified pre-owned Tesla Model S now for about a month, and there are some things that have surprised me about the car, and there's some things that I didn't know much about when I bought the car. So I thought I'd put some videos together to show some demos of those things and show you what it's really like to own a Tesla. Today we're going to be talking about how the car actually drives, which is pretty different than a normal car, in a few different ways. The first is the acceleration. So you hear a lot of people talk about this, about the instant torque. And it really is true. The car takes off when you press the accelerator. We're going to show you that today. There's only one gear in this car. So when you press the accelerator, it goes, and it goes in a hurry. And you have to be careful with that. The other thing that's really different about the car is the braking. So Teslas have regenerative braking, which means that when you take your foot off the accelerator, the car typically slows down a lot faster than a normal car would and returns energy back to the battery. The regenerative braking does take some getting used to, but once you're used to it, then once you get it back into a gas-powered car, you have to remind yourself that that car is not going to slow down nearly as much when you take your foot off the gas. So when you're driving a Tesla, you'll find that you use the brakes a lot less often than you do with a gas-powered car. The only time really that you're going to actually put your foot on the brake and apply the brake is if you need to stop suddenly or unexpectedly, or when you're coming to a full and complete stop, like at a stop sign or a stop light. So that's one thing that I didn't know about the Tesla. I knew about the regenerative braking, I knew that it slowed down faster. But what's interesting is that at least on a level surface, when you're coming up to a stoplight and you're stopping, the car will actually creep forward at about 2-3 miles an hour, and you'll just gently have to tap the brakes to get the car to completely stop. And then once you come to a complete stop, let's say at a stoplight, if you give the brake pedal a firm press, it'll put the car into a hold mode, which means that the car is not going to move forward and it's not going to move backwards. If you're on a slight uphill incline, when you come to a stop, you'll find that the car will roll backwards a little bit unless you put the car into that hold mode. Alright, so let's go for a drive and show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so pulling out of the neighborhood here, we're going to come up to a stop sign. And this stop sign is actually a little bit of a downhill, you can see here. So I just took my foot off the accelerator. And it slows down very quickly, but now we're going down here, we're kind of rolling downhill, right? We're going about 4 miles an hour. And so if I want to come to a complete stop, right, I can do that. And I give the brake a little press, and it puts me into the hold mode so that the car won't roll forward, it won't roll backwards, it's just going to stay completely still. So the first time you get in a Tesla and you start driving, it's a little tricky to know how much to let off the accelerator to slow down to approach traffic in front of you like we are now. Your tendency from your habits of driving a gas car is to kind of take your foot completely off the accelerator, or the gas in that case, and just let the car coast. When you do that in a Tesla, the car will slow down a lot faster than you think it's going to, or faster than you're used to. So when my friends have asked what it's like to drive a Tesla, I say it's a little bit like relearning how to drive a car. The Tesla doesn't drive like any other car, at least that I've driven. And so all of my habits that I've formed over the 20 plus years I've been driving, you sort of have to relearn those habits. So you have to learn how much to brake and when to brake, and how much to push down the accelerator when you want to go faster. I have to say though, by far, this is the most fun car I've ever driven. I make up excuses to drive this car places because I really enjoy it. Alright, so we're coming up to a stoplight here that's turning red. I'm actually going to make a right turn. So I'll show you, we're going about 37 now. And as we come up to this car in front of us and need to stop, I just took my foot completely off the accelerator. It slows down very quickly. And then as we approach this car, you do need to lightly touch the brakes to get the car to come to a complete stop. Right? And then you just give the brake pedal a firm press to hold the car so that it doesn't roll forward or roll backwards. So right now we're in hold. A symbol appears on the display with an H in a circle that indicates that the car is holding. And once the car is in hold mode, then you can take your foot off the brake and the car is not going to move anywhere. And then to release the hold, you just press on the accelerator. So again, approaching the car in front of us. With the foot off the accelerator pedal, we'll slow down to about 3 miles an hour, depending on the hill or the incline. And you do have to lightly touch the brake to get the car to come to a complete stop. But right now the car is in hold mode, so it's not going to roll forward or backwards. Alright, so that time I was making a left turn and there was a car coming from the opposite direction, so I had to wait. I never touched the brake in that situation. The car was slowly rolling forward, but I had enough room and enough time that I didn't have to touch the brake before I was able to make my turn. Alright, so now we are in line here to get our Chick-fil-A for lunch, and we're on a slight uphill climb as we wait for the drive-through window. And if I take my foot off the accelerator completely, you'll kind of notice the car rolls backwards on its own. So then to prevent that, you can either kind of lightly put your foot on the accelerator to keep it moving forward, or if you don't want to rock back and forth, you just, again, tap the brakes, put the car into hold, and you see the symbol appear right here. There's a little H that appears in the upper right-hand corner. Alright, so here is the hold symbol that I was talking about. It appears in the upper right-hand corner. It's an H with a circle around it and like a brake symbol. So it's showing you that the brakes are holding the car and it's not going to move forward or backwards. It went off because I just advanced a little bit forward in the drive-through here, and then I just pressed the brake again, so the hold symbol is back there. Alright, we're going to do a 0 to 60 test here. Alright, we are going to start at 0 here and see how fast we can get going to 60. Here we go. Alright, there it was. So that's what it's like to drive a Tesla. Super fun. Most fun car I've ever driven by far. Just takes a little getting used to. Only takes a day or two, like I said, and then you're used to it. But all in all, fantastic car.